Hello everybody, here we are for our final course reflection. I'm going to start off with the Scratch programming project. As I can see here, I put it in full screen mode. I'll just play it to kind of see where it takes us. What I wanted to do with this project is do something that I could actually use in my own classroom. That's kind of one of the biggest things for me in all of these courses I'm taking is what can I take and put into my own classroom. One thing I really liked from our project is the About Me portion. So instead of trying to kind of replicate that, I kind of put it into my own spin and tried to make an example for students of what they'd be creating in the classroom. So this is like an About Me project where students would almost be, I think, in pairs, and I'd have them working on a laptop or laptop together where they could start their Scratch project. This could be an introduction unit kind of to school. I see it being done at the beginning of the year where students are in my class for the whole year. They start this project early on for the first couple weeks, so that way we kind of touch on some computer science and digital citizenship type stuff in social studies at the beginning of the year. It's also a great way for students to introduce each other to the class, so we will put these on our projector board as students finish them up. So it's more of an exploration into Scratch, kind of letting them do what they need to do. I'll show them how to do some things, but I'm more interested just to see what they create and what they take from it. It's going to kind of be like an open guideline. So here I'll show you what is something that I created to see what students would like. So it starts out with like just a conversation.
I love basketball. I played college basketball and it's my favorite thing to do.
I also tried to get like some voice aspects in there, some moving things. As you can see, some music, just kind of flow with the conversation. Add a bunch of different random things to show students all the different things Scratch can do.
I love music and to play instrument.
So the dialogue is kind of between students, where there's two students talking about different things they like to do, adding different things based on their likes. You could see a basketball in there, some music, the bear, which I see is still in there because I didn't tell it to go away, but those sorts of things. One of the biggest things that was a challenge for me and still is a challenge is just kind of coming up with new ideas. I often takes me a while to kind of just put the creative juices in what I'm going to talk about, so kind of branching out and starting something of my own is pretty difficult. It took me a lot of exploring just to kind of see what I wanted to do and put it all together. Another thing that was kind of difficult is, I don't know how I missed it, but getting things to disappear and appear when I wanted them to. I must have missed that in one of the lessons, so that took me a minute to figure out as well. But overall, I loved exploring with it and kind of just learning more about it. I like how I can put my voice into Scratch and then just kind of let the program take me where it wants to take me, and then you can kind of just put things where you want to go. So this is kind of a demo of what students would create about this intro, kind of sharing each other a couple facts about each other's lives and doing this in front of the course, so as like an icebreaker to get to know each other. Also an intro to Scratch, so it's kind of the best of both worlds where they can use both and kind of start some building blocks for computer science at the beginning of the course. So that is my Scratch project. Moving on here to the curriculum unit project. This project, one of the things that I wanted to focus on, again, is something that kind of pertains to the classroom as a social studies teacher and something that's just staggering in education as we have been moving forward. One of the things that I decided to look at was AI. So the unit itself is how AI works. It's taken from code.com. one of the lessons I wanted to focus on was chatbots and large language models. I see in my daily classroom activities how students are interacting with different AI tools, whether it be on social media, whether it be, I know Quizlet has a feature with AI. I think Kahoot is starting to get one, and there are many others out there. But students I see have been exploring some of these things, like chatting with the Quizlet AI about a quiz we have coming up, and it spits out some information about that. Or if they just have random questions, it gives them some information as well. So something I was kind of interested to look at. So it's kind of an introduction to artificial intelligence. And one of the big things I want students to do coming out of this unit/lesson is talk about the positive and negative side effects of these models. So after students use hands-on research with them, they are going to decide whether they are good or bad kind of for the education system. So I'm in a small public school district in west central Minnesota. We have a big open enrollment from around other communities in the area, and our goal is to make lifelong learners and prepare them for the ever-changing world. All students have Chromebooks from a young age, although we don't really have much formal learning with CS as a rural district, but they've kind of picked it up as they go, pretty good self-starters. So students are kind of adapting and changing as the technology goes. We don't really have much training in some of those as teachers as well as students. So whatever students kind of pick up is what they kind of get. We do have a lack of internet access outside the school district, so kind of showing some of these things in the school might help change and contribute to more CS skills. So I'm kind of hoping in my social studies course to open it up more to a broader point of view. One of my other courses, we did digital citizenship. I think that we have the social studies stuff, and then we have some time, kind of flexible time in 7th grade where I could add a couple of units on CS or digital citizenship, or even both at the beginning of the year, end of the year, and kind of plug them in to help students. And I think this would go a long way to building some of that. So I think we could spend a month on each, 2 months out of the year, and really help students kind of get a solid basis in digital citizenship and CS education. So that's kind of my plan with some of this unit project stuff. Kind of getting into the lesson plan itself, one of the big things that I do in the lesson plan is deciding whether or not these are good for school. Is collaborating with AI going to be a harmful thing or a positive thing? So students here will take and learn about AI. There's a video students watch, they take some notes on it. I thought about maybe putting this into Edpuzzle as well, so students can answer the questions as the video goes, and then students can do it at their own pace, kind of making sure each student has the time that they need, rather than just doing it as a large group where some students might get lost in the shuffle. After they do that, they interact with an AI kind of tool. I've changed it a little bit to kind of add some tools for students. One of the things I added is like 3 different links to AI tools students could start writing and creating with. So some of these, you see the framework here, student voice, agency, and self-determination. So I give students the option, and I want them to take it and run with it and create what they want to create. So students are going to be creating a short little passage about something with AI. It doesn't have to be social studies, it could be math, it could be whatever, anything, any topic they want to do. So they will take that, create the short piece using AI, and then we'll go over everybody's short piece, and then we'll decide whether it is ethical or not in the classroom. You can see some of these adaptations I have here. Collaboration. I have students working in like a think, pair, share method, so that way students can ask questions, bounce them off of each other, and work with each other, because that's where they're most comfortable. Flexibility. Big part of my class is giving students time to work in class, because Oftentimes they have more commitments outside of class, so we try to get everything done in the class period. And I want this done within like a 2-week unit, so I think this lesson is going to be about 15 minutes to a class period and a half. We will see. One of the big things I learned from the project is that it's going to challenge students. Many students are going to have misconceptions about AI and think it's going to write their whole paper for them and that teachers will never be able to tell, when in reality it's often written in a way that most students do not know how to talk. So kind of combining the two and using what is best for students is something that I'm looking forward to doing. Sorry, I have to plug in my computer real quick because it might die. Sorry about that. But so students are going to be collaborating with that, and then they're going to create like a discussion post, which will be the formative assessment, and then the formal assessment, or summative, I mean, is at the end of the unit. Students are going to create that presentation, so it's going to go over 2 weeks, and this presentation can be any form. It could be video, song, dance, whatever it may be, paper, and students will reflect on if AI is positive or negative for the school system and if it's going to be beneficial. I want students to decide, so I'm kind of opening up AI to them to make sure they kind of see it instead of just hiding from it. I think it's good to have students kind of in the know about what's going on, and most are going to try to use it anyways. We might as well teach them how to use it right. So that's kind of my big thing is opening them up to AI, seeing if it's ethical or not, and kind of how they can use it to their advantage instead of just trying to cheat with it, maybe taking a few words here and there or learning about a subject material. So that's kind of my curriculum unit project in a nutshell, even though it's probably just rambling most of the time. As a course reflection, some things that I really loved about this class is how open and flexible CS education can be. I didn't know much about CS education as I'm a social studies teacher, didn't have any courses in college, maybe had a few in early high school years, but not much. So it's kind of a new topic to me, and that was hard. It's hard to open up about new topics, but now I kind of have a grasp and see how great the field is and how well that it needs to be transparent to students, seeing how they can have great careers in CS and not many of them know about it. So all the opportunities are out there. I think I want to convey those in my classroom to students, and I think with some of the things we've talked about, I'm definitely going to put them in my classroom, such as maybe a little Scratch project at the beginning and some of this AI stuff or digital citizenship, learning how to use computer science in the right way. Overall, great course, and really excited to see where it takes my education in the future.